that struggle with trauma. Yeah, what am I talking about? Of course animals struggle with trauma.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's dogs that have to be like you get them from the what's it called, the pet
The
shelter,
shelters.
the
Yeah,
shelters.
duh.
Yeah.
I guess there's like numerous shelters here in Los Angeles that are seeking owners to like adopt right now.
But it's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well, yeah, but I want to talk about dogs.
I don't want to talk about
I'm
dogs.
kidding. Yeah, for sure. I'm stoked.
Happy Mental Health Awareness
Happy
Month.
Mental Health Awareness Month.
What does that mean to you? What are you doing?
Dude, I mean, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm having like some severe struggles for the last like 5 months. I got married, went on a beautiful honeymoon. I've been with my significant other for 8 years, and life's in session. And there's nothing wrong. It's just, I feel like chemical imbalance, right? And there's no amount of like medication. There's no amount of therapy. Like, I swear I go to therapy like 2, 3 times a week. And I'm not an outpatient. I'm not an inpatient. Like, it's just, I love therapy, but
What do you not feel like
mental health is
do you
real.
not feel like it's working?
It's absolutely working, but therapy's one thing to talk therapy, and then there's like EMDR, and then there's psychoeducation, and then there's how are you going to apply everything that was discussed into your life?
Put it in action.
Yeah.
Is that what
That's
you think you're
I struggle
in
with the action.
you do, yeah.
Because it's hard. Like, I struggle with consistency.
That's
And I
something
kind
I'm
of let
working
my
on.
feelings bully me around.
Yeah. I was actually
Fuck feelings.
I was talking about that yesterday with Tristan.
What?
It's
What? I want to know.
so like I was told before like that I was letting my feelings like rule me into like in this depression, and how I was allowing my feelings to not get me up out of bed and stuff like that. But I think that it's one thing of like accepting your feelings and validating your own feelings, like it's okay to feel that. And another thing of like putting action behind it and not letting it like feel it, but don't let it rule you in a way.
Yeah, someone
And that's
really
so
cool
much-
told me, feel the feeling and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Feel the feeling and do it
And
anyway.
that's so much easier said than done.
Right?
But for like my depression that I had my really bad depression I had a few months ago, all I needed to do was just get up off my ass and do something.
Yeah.
But I did I allowed myself to feel it for a very long
How
time.
do you get when you're like severely depressed? Like, give me an example of what your life looks like, and no filter, no bullshit. Like, what does it look like when Laisha's going through like like severe depression?
One, I smell fucking disgusting because I can't shower and I don't want to brush my
Do your
teeth.
bones like feel heavy, or like
My body feels heavy.
like
my-
fatigued, or do you feel
Fatigued. I feel slow.
like you're choking? Not like choking, but like a weight on your chest.
Not for me. I just feel like heavy. Like my whole like I just don't want to.
Do your joints hurt or muscles?
No, like body pain. Really, it's just I just feel heavy and I don't want to do anything. And my thoughts are extremely loud with negativity. You're not going to amount to anything. You're a failure. You kind of haven't made a difference in anything you've done. I'm fat.
Yeah.
I'm ugly. Shit like that.
Yeah.
The list goes on, and it's on a loop and it's on repeat. And the main thing with me when I'm depressed is I don't talk to anybody. I isolate. So the minute that I got some courage to talk to somebody about it, I already started feeling better. I felt lighter. I looked lighter, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's stuff that people don't like to talk about because like society tells us you have to be, well, not like you have to be perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect, but like, you got to keep a job. You got to be professional. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of the house, the bills, da, da, da. And it's like, there's no time for feelings and emotions.
Yeah, and especially when you have this like I've been having like a busier schedule recently, and I feel like I don't have much time
Yeah.
to even fucking dwell, because I'm like, oh, I have responsibility here. But like honestly, a few months ago I would just be like, fuck those responsibilities, I'm gonna dwell.
Yeah. Fuck. It's hard, but when I experience, severe depression, my joints hurt. My muscles hurt. My joints hurt. I feel like I'm 500 pounds. I feel like brain fog, and I feel like the same shit that you said. Like, I'm never going to amount to anything. This is a vicious cycle. I'll never get out of it. And what's amazing is I have like the first time in my life, I have a life beyond my fucking wildest dreams. Nothing's wrong, but my illness, my mental health, like wants to keep me trapped and like not succeed. And it's the hardest thing to like combat when you're aware of it.
Exactly.
And I hate it when those people would say like, I know a lot of people in my life, especially being in sports, like, you know that mind over matter. Like, how is it mind over matter? Like, it's not mind over matter. There's a chemical imbalance going on in my brain that I can't control. Something's not crossfiring right.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, like I mean, thank God for Fuck the Stigma. And like, I'm watching the TikToks all the time, the Instagrams, the things that you post. Like, they're super motivational and very inspiring. And sometimes I read it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that applies, but not today. But then I'll like read it and I'll see like all the comments and I'm like, fuck, I gotta walk the walk, talk the talk too.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of this and I love it. And so I just want to like talk to you like, you know, about mental health, because I was, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, like I was really struggling with my mental health. I would say like give or take 4 months. I've always had like underlining mental health, and like, thank God for psychiatrists, doctors, like all that. I've been treating it my whole life, and a woman never says her age. Yeah, medication is fantastic and I highly recommend it. And I love FTS because, you know, with all the, you know, donations coming from people, all of that, like those proceeds will go to individuals who can't afford their deductibles, their out of pockets to get medication to begin even trying to like address their mental health.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to like drugs and alcohol, fentanyl, you name it, to treat that chemical imbalance. And they don't even know that like they're really struggling with like depression. Mm-hmm. They don't know that it's anxiety.
Yeah, with substance abuse, it's usually a dual diagnosis or something else going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never just substance abuse.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it just be substance abuse before. There's always something else.
Before I started my tangent, like literally a week ago, like I called you. Girl, I was just struggling getting up in the morning. And there's nothing wrong with my life. And I couldn't seem to like...
Externally.
Huh?
Like, your life seems perfect, looks perfect externally. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say my life looks perfect. But, meaning like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I have what society would say, like, yay, success. I don't know. To me, success isn't in the material stuff. Success is like when you're internally like present, mindful, grateful, like in the moment. Have you ever gone for a walk and like smelled the flowers and like really be mindful of nature and like you're at one?
That's success to you?
That is success to me, because it's like I'm out of my head. Mm-hmm. I'm not focused on like
peace and contentment.
Yes, that's a big part of success. But yeah, everybody likes nice things, right? But literally a week ago, just struggling with my depression and was struggling to get out of bed, and I did the very first thing that I knew what to do, is pick up the phone and call somebody. And if I didn't want to call somebody, I texted somebody. I'd say, hey, I'm really having a rough day. I love that there's this, like my sponsees and I, we have this like chat, and it's called Sponsee Bad Bee Squad. It's so dope. But I'm reading like everybody else's gratitude list and what they love about themselves. And then I'm like, oh, I need to do this too. So I write like 10 things I'm grateful for, 5 things I love about myself. And for like a split second, I get out of myself. And I think, but it was hard. My bones were hurting. My muscles were aching. I couldn't even like, I love how you said like you struggle taking a shower. Mm-hmm. I struggled taking a shower myself. It just felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, and that, you know, I couldn't like see myself for who I was. It's like I was trapped in like a dark pit of agony, and it was really painful. And how I like, I think, because I'm like ecstatic today, but it wasn't like I had to get into the depths of pain, like with myself emotionally, that like somehow, some way, like I snapped out of it. And I think it was a accumulation of like my sponsor, my sponsees being there for me, having like real conversations like, hey, I'm having a really bad day today. This is what happened.
Having the real conversation.
The real. Yeah, the real. And something clicked where I got out of myself and was like, there's a bigger purpose to why you're here. It's not all about you. Mm. And I realized, like, you know, I work in healthcare, I work in treatment, I fucking love it. And like my purpose I remember when I got sober, right? And I don't want to go crazy about sobriety, but I remember when I got sober, all I wanted was not to feel that agonizing pain that I had felt when I was using. And yeah, they threw meds at me, and I'm a big advocate of medication. They threw all kinds of therapy at me, and I love therapy as well, but nothing beat like that relationship with your higher power. And sometimes I get disconnected because it's all
100%.
about me. And when I'm disconnected is when I feel the most agony and like pain. And so I think that's what I was experiencing. I was completely disconnected. I would say words like womp, 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 Charlie Brown, but
Yeah.
like wasn't applying it. And
Like in terms of your higher power.
yeah, something clicked
Yeah.
like
no,
2 days ago.
wanna
And I'm
kinda-
just like, boom.
I kind of want to touch on the importance of having a higher power. And that, yeah, of course, that's a stigma in itself. Like that
gosh.
whole conversation of
God.
a power greater than myself.
Yeah.
But for me personally, my opinion, my life, I don't think I'd be here today if I didn't have faith in something greater than myself, something greater than this physical earth.
Yeah.
Because now I have this faith of everything is happening for a reason. I am here for a purpose and a mission. The people I meet, the conversations I have, like I think God is speaking to me through you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah, so like that gives me so much comfort, and then I get disconnected from that as well, and it's just about like, oh yeah, regrounding myself.
Yeah. And just talking real. I think that's what, we're all so busy. I'll speak for myself, not we all. I get caught up sometimes with like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and the media and the Kardashians and always like thinking if I fix my external side, my externals, meaning like my weight. You said like you struggle with your mental health, telling you like you're fat. Like, dude, so do I. But like I always think like if I fix my outsides, maybe they'll match my insides. And reality is like it's an inside job. And so yeah, for sure. Lots of love too. But I agree, like, it's hard for me to talk about higher power because, like, I've always been a believer. I'm Catholic. I was raised, Catholic. I converted to Christianity. It's the same thing, Catholic, Christian, whatever. But I will never forget in the darkness of my illness, I kind of, like, turned my back against, like, the belief that there was a power greater than myself. And it was all, like, this whole mindset, mind over matter. It was all logical, rational, and like control. Like this, who has control, right? We don't have control over anything. But I had this delusion that I was in control. Like we talk about, sometimes something makes that, besides gravity and the laws, something makes that sun go up. Something makes that ocean move. Like,
Yeah,
something.
dude. And that's another thing that I feel like connects
Something
me
woke
with
me up this morning besides my organs and all that. Like, God's not done with me. There's a plan out there, and I don't know what it is fully yet, but I love how you said, like, everything happens for a reason.
And it gives me so much comfort to believe that. And it's like I'm going to have not just like, oh, I kind of believe, I kind of buy it. It's like faith. Yeah. Like that this is, even dude, like shitty stuff shitty things have been happening, like minor inconveniences, stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. That happened for a reason. Could have been like to work out timing with something or whatever it is. And it gives me peace and throughout my day.
Sounds freeing.
It is.
It's like a freeing
And
way to live.
but that's like, I have to keep connected with my higher power and that to really like stay in that mindset and that. So,
I mean, again, it's back to what we talked about. It's about work and doing the work.
Yeah.
And
putting it into action.
some
Also
people, like, I speak for myself, but I also know like society too. Like this is the hard shit. This is the hard work. And not too many people want to do the hard work. It takes work to like, practice having faith or believing that there's something greater than oneself, especially for non-believers
Exactly.
too.
Yeah. There's having to unlearn previous things you maybe don't agree with. And there could be trauma with it.
I have friends, a lot of friends who struggle with mental health as well. But what I really love is like looking at like Facebook, Instagram, like articles about how important it is. I love it because they're pushing this content and it helps me connect. Like, hey, I'm not in this alone. And when you're in a mental health like crisis, when you're in like that state, you feel so alone. So I'm reading all this fucking like articles and things and blogs and posts about like mental health. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm not alone. And I shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about my mental health. I don't give a fuck? Like, the fact that I've made it this far, you've made it this far with our struggles, like, we're the walking miracles. I seriously, anyone who like takes a look at it, takes the action, and is trying every single day to do something different, you're a fucking miracle. Because I believe that like our mental health, our depression, our anxieties, our fears want us 6 feet under. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to fucking die. And I have tasted death before in my addiction, right? Like, came close to like ODing, suicidal. I'm not going to let my mental health win, period. I'm not going to let it win. I'm going to do everything in my power to like treat it, talk about it, be real with it, be compassionate with myself. And like here, spitting with you on the podcast, just talking about it.
Spitting. Yeah.
Hey, it's 3:33. Make a wish. I wish that the whole world be healed and at peace with their mental health.
I don't know. I'm really bad with wishes. But
I love it every time. Whenever something like this, like energy flowing or like something positive or good vibe, it's 3:33. Like, I'll look at the clock, it's 1:11. Mm-hmm. They're like angel signs from what I've been told. Let's look up what 3:33 means.
Encourages to set plan into action and let your personal strength be the guide. Should trust yourself and put thought into your choices.
Oh my God.
It's connected with optimism, creativity, and intuition. You know?
Yeah. We're talking about higher power. We're talking about like connection, spirit. Like what does that mean to you?
And to me, that means I have a lot of plans. Actually, it's really funny. I have a lot of plans right now. And like for FTS and stuff. And all I have to do is put them into action.
What are we doing?
And I'm like, he said, what are we doing?
I'm so excited. What are we doing?
But I'm also like trying to, like, I have to make like choices and like decide certain things. So I have to let my personal strength be my guide. And it's also connected with intuition. I have to be more in touch with my intuition and creativity with things like with content and events that I'm trying to come up with and the merch that we're trying to get out there in the world. So I have to like trust myself and put thought into my choices and put the plans into action.
I'm trusting your gut.
Yeah, I'm trusting my gut. And
I mean, the mission of what this is, like, fuck the stigma, is like huge. You know, it's just raising awareness, right? And creating a platform where you can be free, unique, yourself, and voice what's actually going on. Mm-hmm. You know, and the expectations that society, family members, trauma placed upon you, right? And kind of breaking down those barriers, right? And using the F word and just being real.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, I think I shared on my podcast, I wasn't allowed to like swear or cuss. And like, I only like swear sometimes because I can't like articulate
like,
the passion and the fire of what I'm trying to say.
Cuss words have passion. And like, it's so, like, you could be like, I want to fuck you. Or like, fuck you. You know what I mean? It can mean so many different things.
Yeah, right? 2 totally different meanings, yeah. But it's like still passionate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I love about curse words, and that's why I love that fuck's in our name.
Yeah.
There's passion in it. And there's stigma around curse words. Like, you can't cuss as a kid or whatever.
Oh, there's so many stigmas
around
curse words. But
like, food has a big impact on our mental health, and I don't think we realize that as much.
Especially with all the preservatives that are in food.
Preservatives. There's like Red 40 that's horrible for you. It causes like horrible outbursts in like growing up kids in elementary school. Like, it can make them aggressive.
Mm-hmm. I think there was this other thing that was like foods to eat for mental health. They say dark chocolate, aim for 3 to 5 3-ounce servings per week. Eggs, aim for 5 to 7 eggs per week. Fermented dairy, aim for 3 to 5 servings a week. Leafy greens, nuts, beans, and seeds, colorful fruits and vegetables. Those, they say, like, it's the best to combat like mental health. But you're right. Like, when you eat like burgers, mayonnaise, and like fries and carbs galore, and there's no nutrients.
And like those chips, like Doritos and shit like that, like that's not gonna make you feel good. Mm-mm. It's not good for your body. There's no nutritional value.
And then it said here, like, happiness chemicals, meaning like dopamine is the reward chemical. By eating food, achieving a goal, completing a task, self-care activities, you gain dopamine. Oxytocin is the love hormone. It says through socializing, physical touch, petting animals and helping others, you get oxytocin. Then it's like the endorphin, which is the painkiller. By exercising, listening to music, watching a movie, and laughter, you gain endorphin. Your endorphins are triggered. Serotonin, mood stabilizer, sun exposure, mindfulness, be with nature, and meditation. I love this because, like, literally this last weekend, I touched on all of these. I went to Palm Springs. I went with my best friend, and we stayed at Avalon, and it's like a very like private, quiet resort. And we had like really healthy smoothies. I made it a point to be like a mental health trip, if you will. Like, listened to music, hung out by the pool, ate healthy food, had like smoothies and nutrients. I even had like, it's crazy that it's only like nuts and berries and a lot of sleep, and just kind of like, because it was so hot, it was nice. Like at nighttime, you could just lay out on these like, pool chairs and stuff and just look up to the stars. And it was just
the desert.
pretty amazing.
The desert, you can see the stars really well.
Yeah. So those are like tips and hacks, and like I can really like accumulate. Those are some things that really made me feel better. And then I came back, and then I went up and down, but it's important. Like we got to do things. I got to do things every day to battle mental health, because it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and fucking talk about Mental Health Awareness Month on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.